when I gave the word. Now in the morning I sleep alone. Sweep the streets I used to own. I used to roll the dice, feel the fear in my enemy's eyes, listen as the crowd would sing. Now the old king is dead, long live the king. One minute I held the key, next the walls were closed on me, and I discovered that my castle stand upon pillars of salt and pillars of
I'm going to introduce Sankar. Sankar.jayavelu is a holistic nutritionist and herbalist, and his passion is to educate, empower, and inspire individuals to support their health goals. To do this, he uses well-informed food choices, exceptional quality nutritional supplements, and elite herbs, along with simple lifestyle changes. Today he'll be speaking on how to stay healthy during the holidays and show us how to make rosemary and garlic infused olive oil, a great gift idea for the holiday. So welcome, Sankar.
Thank you. Welcome everyone. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So starting that, well, this is a time where we share our gifts to our loved ones and for ourselves and to our family. So today I'm going to share with you a simple gift that you can make at your own home. Olive oil that is infused with some herbs. This is not only great for us to have it, but also to share it with any of your friends or family members. So there are very simple ingredients. We have olive oil, rosemary, and garlic. These are the only 3 ingredients that we use. And before I start sharing about how we do the olive oil, I'm going to just pass this one out so you can have a look at it, how it takes like around a couple of weeks for it to infuse. So this is how I did it, like 1.5 weeks before. So I'm going to pass this around so you can see what happens after 1.5 weeks. And it'll have, just outside it will smell even beautiful. So the one thing that we want to be mindful of is when we start infusing olive oil with some herbs, the ingredients is recommended to be of the highest quality. So I use extra virgin olive oil that is first cold pressed, which means it is the superior quality without any added additives or any impurities or anything. So we get that olive oil. Then we have rosemary. Amazing, it's the season, right? You guys love rosemary? Beautiful, amazing smell that it has. Rosemary and also garlic. So rosemary, it has been used since ancient tradition, like Roman and Greek scholars, they have used rosemary as a herb of remembrance. So they use it to for improving their learning, and even till today they are using it in the same term as a herb of remembrance. So how it works is it helps to improve the circulation to your brain and also circulation to your extremities. So it improves the circulation. So that's how rosemary actually works. And only leaves are the only thing that we are going to be using. And rosemary generally, one contraindication for rosemary is rosemary cannot be used for people who are pregnant, because it has stimulating effect on the uterus. So apart from that, if it can be just used as a culinary spice as a little bit, that is okay. But if you're going to use it as therapeutic in teas or in tinctures, then we need to be aware for pregnant women. And we just use only the leaves of it. So we just take the leaves of the rosemary, and then you can chop it up into small little pieces, because once when you chop it up, all the aromatic oils, they have some components. When you smell the rosemary, it has a distinct smell, right? So it is the aromatic oils that actually helps with the medicinal property. And if you take internally rosemary, as I mentioned earlier, it is very helpful for our brain and for our memory. And also it helps when people have exhaustion, tiredness, and weakness. even if we smell it, we find brightness coming, right? So that's what happens inside our body also. And if you use it externally, it brings circulation to that area. So if you have pains and strains, then it helps to bring circulation to that area. Rosemary is fantastic for all these things. So we chop up the rosemary, and in your handout, you have, I had given how to make it. The ratio is very simple. It is like 1:2 ratio, which means 1 part of herb to 2 part of oil. That's all. So if you're doing 2 cups of oil, then 1 cup of herb. 1 cup of herb includes both rosemary and garlic. So 1:2 ratio, simple, right? So the next one that I added was garlic. So garlic is fantastic antibiotic. It helps in people who have problems with cardiovascular disease also. When we ingest garlic on a regular basis over a slow period of time, it goes into our body, and it gets out of our body through our lungs and through our skin. That is why we have garlic breath. And people smell of garlic, right? You might have heard of the saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. If you eat 1 garlic per day, you can keep everyone away, actually. So, yes. So that's a good trick for garlic if you want to keep people away. So garlic, talking about garlic, it is, when it goes inside our bloodstream, it helps with our blood vessels, the elasticity of our blood vessels, and it also helps to remove the arteriosclerosis and removes our cholesterol if you use it in a longer term. And this rosemary and garlic is excellent for elders. If people who are older, and if they want to come to your celebration during the holidays, this is an excellent thing because it is going to help with their memory and the brain, and also helpful for their heart. So it is for geriatric cardiovascular diseases. This is an excellent simple thing that you can do at your home. So, and also garlic has a huge antibiotic benefit. It kills the bad bacteria in our tummy. And also it has anti-cancer properties, and also it helps to prevent replication of bad genes, that is anti-mutagenic actually. And also in our rosemary, they have found recently a component in rosemary that helps with breast cancer. So people have been isolating that ursolic acid and seeing if it is going to be helpful for breast cancer. So we have this fantastic, just 2 herbs. So yesterday night I just chopped up the garlic and rosemary, and you put it in a bottle. How to make it, I'll just simply share it with you. So after you put it in the bottle, just a regular ball jar. So this, I think this one is half a cup. So I measured 1:2 ratio, as I mentioned earlier, right? So 1/4 cup of garlic to 1/4 cup of rosemary is what I used. And then, so that is half a cup. So now 1 cup of oil is all we need to do. So I just pour directly 1 cup almost. It's just a guidance, the ratios. You can play around with it. If you want more rosemary flavor, then add a little bit more rosemary. If you want more garlicky, then add a little bit more garlic to it. And then you just have it 1:2 ratio. And then a suitable lid for this one is, we shouldn't be covering it up with this, because since these are fresh herbs, it has moisture in it. Right? So this moisture needs to escape. And also this garlic has sulfur compounds sulfur that comes out. So we shouldn't be doing this. What we need to do is we have to get some cheesecloth, simple cheesecloth, put on top of it, put a rubber band over it. Just as I don't think I have the cheesecloth in here. But cover it with the cheesecloth with a rubber band, and you can keep it on your windowsill, or it can you can put it in your closed closet actually.
You don't put the lid on it till
No.
after it's done, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, don't put the lid on it, because I've heard when I went through the herbalism program, I've heard stories from people. Yes, thank you, Adrian. So we have the cheesecloth. So what I generally do is I take just a simple cheesecloth, put on that, and also put a rubber band over it. That's all. Simple. And then you keep it for a week or so. And then it'll beautiful. It'll start smelling wonderful in 1.5 weeks. So when you are seeing those things, you'll see how it changes. It brings the aroma to the oils. So when I was talking about if we put the cap over it, when I was going through the herbalism program, there are incidents that people speak. We experiment with a lot of things, and people had said that their bottle exploded.
Wow.
Because of the gas that comes out. It is very powerful. So when you use fresh herbs, make sure that you use a cheesecloth to cover it up. So simple.
How can we strain it too?
Yes. And then after 1.5 to 2 weeks, you can just simply strain it and then put it in a little bottle and use it in a tablespoon level or a teaspoon. And if you add a little bit of salt and pepper and have it with your bread during the holidays, that's amazing. So you have a little bit which is going to be helpful for your heart, for your brain, and a simple gift that you can share it with people. Any questions on how to make the rosemary infused garlic oil? Yes.
So once you've strained it with the herbs, do you just discard them or can you use them?
I just discard it actually.
Because all the flavors out and everything's out? Okay.
Yes, all the flavor will be pulled out. Infusion is the process. Infusion is the word that they use. Infusion means you put the herbs into the oil or into a tea, like how you're having the tea there. So it pulls out all the things. So you take out the herbs, the spent herbs, and you just discard it respectfully. That's all.
Do you
Yes.
not refrigerate it while you're getting it to infuse?
No, we don't refrigerate it.
Okay.
Yeah, you just no. The shelf life is actually around 2 to 3 weeks. The shelf life is 6. You have to macerate it for 2 to 3 weeks, and then shelf life is it will come to 3 to 6 months. You can just keep it outside, like how you keep olive oil. Okay, great. So moving on, during the holiday season, one of the things our wishes is we want to have a slim body and a fat bank balance, right? But most of the time the reverse happens. We put on some extra weight and the love handles that comes under our tummy and all these things. So what happens during this time is the high intake of sugar that we are having in our body. So it's the holiday season, and yes, we can have treats and desserts and all the wonderful things. Now what can we do so that the sugar spike is not very high in our body? Because when the sugar spike goes very high, what happens is it gets converted into fat cells. So, and diabetes and the whole slew of problem, our immune system goes down and all the things. So what we can do to prevent that one during the holidays is having fiber. Fiber is the key. Examples of fiber are, broccoli, beetroot. You can use the tops of the beetroot too. You can steam these, cut these things and steam them, or if you have the habit of juicing, you can juice this one too. Same thing with carrots. Yes, after you steam it, you use them as a regular, like a spinach or something.
You can put them in a salad too.
Yes, you can use it as a salad too. And also carrot tops, you can juice them. It's a little bitter, but you could definitely use it. It's edible, the carrot tops. So when you go into the store, you just buy the whole thing and you just eat the entire thing. And even in farmers market, that's why I love going there, because you just get all the stuff from there that is fresh from the farmers, and you just eat the entire stuff. And we have potatoes, purple potatoes, and cabbages. So all these have good fiber in it. The main thing with the fiber is it actually helps to slow the distribution of sugar in our body. And also the nutrients, like if people are taking multivitamins or any vitamins, it is essential to have it with fiber, big time, because it slowly releases the nutrients into your bloodstream. So there's not a huge sugar spike in our body. So having fiber, and also the other fiber is cannellini beans. It is also good fiber for our good bacteria inside our body. And great northern beans, the white beans, and also garbanzo beans. These are fantastic fiber. So we eat the fiber, and also brown rice, quinoa, buckwheat. So we have all those things, and then have our dessert. Stress spelled backwards is desert, right? So yes, having desserts releases our stress, but having this along with our dessert, then it saves us from getting the extra sugar spike in our body. Cool. And I wanted to share with you a couple of vitamins that I take, especially during the holidays. The first one is probiotics. I think I mentioned this in our last lunch and learn about the probiotics. This is a company that I like, Claire Labs. So probiotics are good bacteria that helps to improve our immune system. The way it works is it actually it takes over the area of our intestines, so the bad bacteria doesn't stay there. And it also breaks down the nutrients, and I take like 1 or 2 per day, specifically during the holidays. Because of the sugar rush that we have, we tend to get more sick. So one of the things that I love is having probiotics. And in your handout, if you are interested in buying this specific probiotic, I had given where you can buy it. It has the link and the code and everything. So this one capsule has like 25 billion colony forming units, which means it helps really to help with multiple strains. It helps to protect you, digest, and hormonal help, and a whole bunch of other things. So probiotics is fantastic, so especially during the holidays. Then the other one that I really love is vitamin D, the sunshine vitamin. We might have heard of it as the sunshine vitamin, right? I'm going to pass this around. These are like the 2 companies that I really like about it. So vitamin D is produced by our body. When our skin interacts with the sun, it creates, with the oils, it creates vitamin D in our body. Now, vitamin D is essential for our bones, because when people get older, our bones become weaker. So it helps for the bone building. Not only that, it helps big time with our immune system, strengthening the immune system. The problem with this vitamin D is we are not in the sun all the time. You know, we all work in this wonderful cubicle la la land, and we sit all day long, and when we go out, we are fully clothed, so we don't get the entire sunshine coming into our body for making our vitamin D. And also the other problem is, for people who have darker skin like me, it is very difficult to make vitamin D than people with fair skin. So that is a factor in this one also. So we need to be mindful of that. So supplementation is fantastic because it helps with boosting your immune system. And supplementing it, like anybody can take like 1,000 IUs, 1,000 IUs, or 2,000 IUs. But you can take, if you want to know your blood value of vitamin D, ask with your doctor, because they will give the blood test. When you take the yearly blood test, they can mark your vitamin D level, because generally they won't ask you to do the vitamin D level because it's a little expensive. So when you ask them to mark it, you can get the vitamin D level. On a regular range, 50 to 80 is the recommended range. When I took my vitamin D level to around 4 or 5 years back, mine was 13, and no wonder I was getting sick. And it was amazing. I started supplementing it with vitamin D, and then I could see a change in me with my immune system going up, and you don't get sick that often. You're energetic, and it helps with your hormones and everything. So when you go next time, check your vitamin D level. But on a safe note, you can take, everybody can start at least with the 1,000 IUs as a regular regime for your health. And I think I had given in the same website, if you're interested, you could get some. Then other one that I wanted to share with you is, when we eat a lot during our holidays. So I like to wear my pajamas during our holidays, because you can just make it loose and just keep on eating. One of the problems that we have is tummy problems, right? We eat way too much, and then we won't be able to digest certain things. So one of the things that helps is simple peppermint tea. So did you guys enjoy the peppermint tea? Yes. Yep, it has peppermint, chamomile, spearmint, fennel, and ginger. So I made a concoction of those. It's a formulation specific for digestion. And I think this is the formulation that I used when I was sharing my gifts with in this craft fair that we had. This is the same formulation that I used. So in your home, you can just simply use a peppermint tea. Peppermint tea is fantastic. It is great because it helps to soothe the intestines and also helps preventing decomposition in your body. the food that is decomposed. Have you ever gone into some public bathroom and you just want to run away because because you can't stay there? So what happens is there is a decomposition that is going on in your intestines, and we want that not to happen. So peppermint, simple peppermint, has an effect of helping to digest it. And also, if you grow mint, you can, in your garden, just grab some of those leaves, put it in a hot water and sip it when you're having your holiday feast. So it helps to simply digest your food. So that's one of the things that you can use simply. And also the probiotics that I was mentioning, it helps to digest your food, removes bloating, and it also anti-nausea. When people feel like nauseating, peppermint actually helps with that. So these are some fantastic values for the peppermint. And it's also cooling, and it dries when people have colds and flu. You have a runny nose. This actually has the capability to dry the mucus. So sipping a little bit of peppermint tea helps with with your mucus and with your digestion and all the good stuff. Do you have any questions so far? Yes.
When is the best time of the day to take probiotics?
Probiotic, you can take it with meal anytime. People have done researchers saying that, it will be good in the night time or it will be good in the daytime, and they had tested how much of it is excreted using the fecal matter, but it all comes to just take it with food. Take it with food, and I generally take it in the night time because it helps. I do it in the night time, but one thing is keep it refrigerated. So you take 1 or 2 capsules along with the food because it helps to digest in the night, and the next time you'll have a smooth flow. You won't have any problems going to the bathroom, because it is essential that excretion is important, because there is, in the naturopathic principle, nobody goes away without speaking about going to the bathroom, because it is essential for us to eliminate very well. And there is a formula that we actually speak in our classes that say the number of poops per day is equal to the number of major meals eaten per day, which means if you eat 2 major meals, then poop 2 times, get rid of it 2 times. So we need to have a smooth movement. Our digestive tract is 30 feet from mouth to our anal outlet. 30 feet. That is like, I don't know, from here to there, right? It's like, that's a lot that's going on. So we need to keep this pipe clean. So having probiotics in the nighttime will be helpful. Yes?
How many billions is the best probiotic?
Different categories. Like the one criteria that I would always look for is multiple strains and higher the billion. So there are some things that other regular stores will sell that will have 1 billion, 2 billion, or 3 billions. The one that I have is 25 billion. One capsule has 25 billion, and it has like 7 or 8 strains of bacteria. So you have multiple strains, high billion, because when the probiotics go through our intestinal tract, it has to pass through our acid in our stomach, so it gets killed too. So there is very less that can go through our intestines. So the higher the number, I would say minimum of 25 billion per serving. Okay, great. So any questions? Anybody? So the other one that I wanted to share with you is we are going to give away raffle tickets for all of you for coming and sharing with us. So 3 of you are going to win raffle tickets. I wanted to share with you what we have. You have rosemary and garlic infused olive oil, the one that I made some extra, so I'm sharing that with you. And also it has tea bags, peppermint tea bag. And I also do one-on-one personalized nutrition consultations for people who need help. So I'm giving a 15-minute of complimentary consultation for anybody whom you want, for you, your friend, or anybody else. So to find out who has it, in your handouts, I think most of it has the happy holidays, right? And 3 of the handouts will have poinsettias in it. The flower poinsettia. Poinsettia flowers. You have poinsettia? Yes, you won. Great. And who else? Yay!
Can we deliver your prize?
Yes.
Hannah?
Yes, thank you. And anybody? We have one more.
Here, I'm drawing mine. I'm changing.
One. And who else has one more? Someone else?
It could have been Christine McKinney.
It could have been
The
Christian.
only person that got past me.
Oh, okay. Okay, I will save it for Kristen. Yeah, she would love it. Oh, Kunta! He's quiet there. Did he get one?
You can be gifted too.
Yeah,
I would love to be regifted with this.
thank you.
Somebody.
Leverage it a little.
Let's see, who's my favorite? Oh, I got Christmas.
That's awesome, fantastic. Before we conclude, I want to thank my coffee house friends, Annie and Adrian. They had been fantastic in helping putting all this together. And before we conclude for the holiday season, I wanted to share something that Helen Keller said. The most beautiful things in our life cannot be smelled or touched, but it can only be felt by our heart. So I wish you all a wonderful, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a happy New Year, and we will continue this next year. Thank you.